I got my whiskey.
I got my something. Whichever one I pulled up the
Jack Apple on the rocks, not mixed with anything.
Mine straight up is not on the rocks.
You don't have ice?
No.
Oh, I need the ice to water it down.
Not me.
Whatever, you're drinking like Malibu.
Shut up.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Queers and Soaps. I'm Tommy, and as always, I'm joined by Aaron.
Hello, everyone.
And today we have a very special guest. Corey from all the socials is joining us today.
Hi.
Hi. And today we're going to be talking about the Desperate Housewives pilot.
Which, it brings back so many memories. Wonderful memories.
So many. Yeah.
My little closeted gay self watching Desperate Housewives. Ooh.
So did you guys watch the show from like the very beginning?
Oh, yes. I was there on series premiere night.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
I didn't. So there was a store called Blockbuster back in the day.
Wait, what's that?
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
What's that?
I think it was in between the first and second season. You could rent the series like by disc.
Yeah.
So that's how I watched it originally. And then there's chunks of season 3 and 4 that I've missed, but I watched it from like season 5, like after the writer's strike till it ended, like every week.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I watched it I missed a few episodes, but that was season 3, and it normally went with something school related.
Oh, okay. So, what do we guys think of the pilot?
I still love it.
Yeah.
It's a great pilot to start like.
Well, oh, go ahead.
No,
because I just thought of something. Well, I've been thinking about this question because you guys watch so many soap operas. So with Desperate Housewives coming on, the idea of Desperate Housewives was so good because it was like this mystery on this lane in Connecticut, I think it was, right? Like a made-up town in Connecticut, right?
I think so, yeah.
Well, I don't think they ever told the name of the town. It was one of those things like we never knew. It could be anywhere.
Okay. I thought it was Connecticut. But okay. So, but like the thing is, like at the time when the show came out, there was really nothing like it on TV. Like it was so different and it really captivated so many people. Like the first season was like great. Like it was like, but coming from the soap operas you guys watched, did any show cover that kind of storyline of like a mystery and like a town or something like that? Because for me, I was like, this is the first time me seeing something like this, and I was excited about it.
Prior to the show, no, I don't believe so. It was different because it took something dark and then it kind of flipped it and had like dark humor to it.
Right.
Like the very opening scene, like Martha Hoover, is that her name?
Yeah.
She like calls the police and she's sad for a moment and then she realizes she gets to keep the blender that she borrowed 6 months ago. So she
it's funny. Yeah, it's funny. Yeah.
I don't think I watched anything before that was like this, but I know there were shows like Picket Fences and Twin Peaks that were very much like small town mystery, like, but still kind of very soapy.
Yeah.
I never watched Picket
I was just curious.
Oh, I haven't either. I just know about it because Piper from Charmed is in it.
Oh.
I love Charmed.
I'm sold. Now I have to watch it.
Yeah, right?
There's only like 4 seasons in it. I think it had that lady from Poltergeist who cleans the house.
Oh, yeah.
I think she's in it.
I'll have to check into that.
Okay.
I remember the draw for me was seeing Terry Hatcher in something because I hadn't seen her in anything since like Superman and Lois. So I was like, oh, she's back on like prime time.
Terry Hatcher and Marsha Cross was the main reason.
And Marsha Cross,
yeah. Marsha Cross is, well, I have to say Brie is my favorite character. So
I'm a Susan.
Susan, yeah.
Mhm.
Susan's great. Susan just has her moments of I get annoyed and I'm like, Susan, enough already with this. Like it's like too much. But Marsha Cross's Brie was like, you never knew kind of like everything was like different, and she was so complex to me. And I just loved the whole like perfection of her, and she had this idea, and it was very like old kind of like 50s kind of like lifestyle. And it's like, there are people like that. Like there are people that are like very perfectionist, and like it was just funny. But it's like, you honestly, that was kind of like the show of like behind closed doors, like what's going on, and then you kind of see her kind of like unravel, which always kind of got me. But Tommy, who is your favorite from Desperate Housewives?
I want to say Gabby consistently. She always made me laugh with her sarcastic, sometimes superficial quips.
That's why
she's had some moments. Yeah,
that's why
like they're like packing their dead friends' clothes up, and she's like, size 8. She always told me she was a size 6. As we found her skeleton.
And that's like, why I like that's why I like Susan, because when her daughter says, "When's the last time you had sex?" and she just sits there.
Are you mad I asked you that?
No, I'm just trying to remember when.
Oh my God. Yeah, she was very close with her daughter. Her name was, I forgot her name. Julie.
Yeah.
They had a very, very close but kind of like damaging relationship.
It's very much
heavily relied on her.
I was gonna say the child was more mature than her mother.
Oh my God, since she was 16. Yeah.
They had the time jump, and then Julie came back, I think, as an adult.
Yes,
same actress,
she did. But, yeah,
and so did Brie's son, the one that ends up being gay.
That was a good storyline, because for Brie, she was like, "No way! Like she cannot handle this."
Yeah.
And at the time, like I'm watching it, like I'm gay, and like you know. I'm out, but like I'm watching it and like I'm like, my mom and I relationship. And I'm like, is this how it is? Like, and I'm like, but no, that Bree's and Andrew's relationship was like total extreme. Like he went through some rough times, poor Andrew.
Sometimes he was just a little dick.
Yeah.
Like on purpose.
Yeah.
Like, when he told his mom, well, can't we just have Frank and beans or whatever? I'm like, okay, I'm poor and I wouldn't even ask for that.
Not in this house.
No,
Bree's like, absolutely not.
Also, she's like, can't we have a normal soup like navy bean? I've never even heard of navy bean. I'm
oh
like,
my God, yeah, me either.
I'm like,
no.
why did you just say chicken noodle? Or ramen.
True. Ramen, yeah. Not in Bree's house. Bree was like, no, I'm cooking all day.
And I like how she's like, you're the man of the house, say something. And he's like, pass the salt.
Oh my God. Rex was not it.
Bree was definitely a close second for me for favorite character. Because she evolved. She didn't stay rigid.
Yeah.
She loosened up.
There was
her
a
relationship with Brian Austin Green in like season 7 or 8.
Oh, I forgot all about that.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
That was wild. That was so wild. Like
it's like when Susan had that relationship from the actor from Queer as Folk. And every time I watched it, all I could see was Brian Kinney. I was like, yes, but you're gay. I mean, I know he's not real, but I was just like, all I could see was Brian Kinney.
Well, it's funny because Mark Cherry created Desperate Housewives, who also worked on the Golden Girls. So he's a gay, like, so he's always bringing in these kind of like different kind of genres. So bringing in Brian Kinney was very like, we knew, but like, I didn't feel like it meshed well. Like, I was like, I don't know. Like, I don't like this. Susan, no.
I didn't hate it because I was happy to see him because I think Queer as Folk had ended at that point.
Yeah.
And he was supposed to be on longer, but I think he got into like a motorcycle accident.
He did.
Yeah. So they had to write him out.
Sad. Very sad.
But he's fine.
He's great.
Update.
He actually popped up on that cheerleading show.
Hellcat?
Hellcat, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Fired Up.
Figure it out. It's a good title.
But I think Fired Up was like a cheerleading movie with Annalyn McCord, Naomi from 90210.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of cheer movies.
There is. Bring It On's like
Bring It On
the
is
top.
my favorite.
The top.
Oh, don't get me started with Bring It On. That's a whole
It's a
other
whole other thing.
It's a whole other episode. And I will start out with the cheer because I know it.
Same.
So,
we're all gonna sing it.
I'm watching it, and Greg's doing his whole like, "You're so stupid," watching your soaps. So I'm not paying attention, but he is, because he's like, "That was a good show. I remember this." And then he asked me a question, about the letter at the end. He's like, "What was that story?" And I'm like, okay. I was like, I think they adopted the son illegally, and he's actually Mike Delfino's son with like this woman that they accidentally killed and put in a trunk and buried under the pool.
Oh,
Yeah,
right,
but how
right.
crazy is it?
Right.
I think that's the story.
Had he just left that body under the pool, everything would have been fine.
I was
It
like,
would've
that's why they
never-
kept focusing
I mean-
on the pool.
Granted, we wouldn't have had the show.
Yeah.
You know, it would. I mean, it's plot driven. You know, that was plot driven. But I'm just like,
Right.
it would have stayed buried.
Yeah.
Actually, after I watched the pilot, I went and watched the last episode.
Yeah.
I remember crying during the last episode.
I did too.
When,
I was very sad.
Lynette and Tom like had their reunion moment. I was like sobbing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And I didn't even think
that
I cared about them that much.
It was sad though. You saw all the ghosts of Wisteria Lane pop up, and you're like, "Oh yeah, I remember those people that died."
Oh no, I was talking about the
Randomly.
season. I was talking about the season 1 finale when they explain everything that happened. Not the series
Oh, we're talking about the
finale.
series.
No.
finale.
Wow, y'all jumped
Hey,
way
we
ahead.
just jumped. We
Y'all
jumped way to the end.
8+ years. I was talking about the series finale, like watching it all unfold. What had you know?
Oh
The
yeah,
pilot.
that's good.
Okay.
I didn't cry at that. I didn't cry at that one.
Yeah, I didn't cry at that
The
one.
series finale, I did.
It wasn't even before. I cried before the series finale when they actually killed Mike.
Yeah, that was sad.
Yeah.
That was a really big moment.
I was just like,
But can we just talk about that really quick? Because Nicolette Sheridan ruined that moment for the fans because of that whole like lawsuit. And she came out and was like, Mike's gonna die. And I was like,
Really?
okay. Yes, there was a whole like lawsuit with Nicolette Sheridan because she said that Mark Cherry like slapped her or something.
That I remember.
There was a whole thing. I don't know.
That's why she was
but I
written
remember. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's a whole other story.
oh,
But
how Alexis Carrington of her.
I know she wanted to say in that the drama.
I've also heard a lot of rumors that a lot of people didn't get along with Terry Hatcher,
Yeah, I've
very
heard
true.
that too.
and that's why she
That's
was kind
very
of
true.
like on the side on her own towards the end, last few seasons.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Mrs. McCluskey, I think, passed away like shortly after, I think, the series finale. And I guess there was an audio that was like leaked or put out, like an interview or something. And she said the cast was like very rude to Terry Hatcher. And just always, there was always problems. And like she said, like Marsha Cross and like all of them were like just so attached to their phones. And like it was all this like illusion of like, it was a whole thing. And like I felt bad for Terry Hatcher. There was drama going back to the first season too with the Vanity Fair photo shoot. She wanted to be in the center and and it just kind of went on and on and on. But yeah, I felt bad. And like photo shoots, they were separate and stuff. I was like, wow, okay.
Were there any favorite moments from the pilot episode?
Oh gosh.
I mean, I know mine because I relate to this one. Susan, when her macaroni story.
Oh
There's
yeah.
one good thing she can cook, and she can't cook it well.
She rarely does it well.
Yeah, no.
And I was like, oh, that's me.
My favorite moment is I feel like it's a little bit cringy because I feel like it might be racist. Is when Gabrielle runs back to the house and is mowing the lawn in her dress.
Oh yeah.
Just the whole like, I don't know. I felt like her mowing the lawn in the dress and like making her do like the cha-cha, like almost how she kept flipping her dress back, could come off a little
I
bit
felt like
racist
they were-
nowadays. If you
I
really
felt
look
like they were
deep
trying to
into it.
trying to go for like that telenovela vibe, though.
Yes.
So
Yeah,
Yeah, I
was-
agree. I agree with you. I think, but I think
I
there
get what you
was.
say.
Yeah, I think that there was like cringy moments, like especially maybe going back and watching it, there are moments of like the comedy's a little like, but it's also like a dark comedy. So it kind of, it's like, it's funny, like, you know what I mean? But that moment's really good. I honestly like, I would have to say when Lynette is with her kids, which is such a huge like plot like throughout, but she goes in the pool with like, they're at the wake. Yeah, they're at the wake. She goes in the pool to like get her like annoying kids that are like embarrassing her. But she's like, I'm the mom. Like, I don't care. She like goes in, gets her kids, pulls them out. Like, and
looks
I think
back at the third one.
Yes, yeah.
I love how she's so exhausted. She just hands her baby to a stranger. I mean, surely she probably. I mean, it's a small town, so she probably knew the person, but still, just like, here, hold her.
She was really like the super mom of that show because I was just like, oh my god, like, why do you have so many kids? This is so much, like every time.
When she hit Tom and was like,
when he's in Let's Chance It.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does she have another kid? After the baby?
She does. Okay, yeah. So. It was before was it before the time jump or after the time jump? She's like pregnant.
We find
out.
I'm
like, why?
I just remember being like, another one.
And Tom had another kid too.
It was always a battle between like her being a mom and like her being a career woman. And it was always like, I always wanted her to like do her career. Like I was like, she wants to do her career. And then like when that storyline came up that she was pregnant, she was even exhausted. Like she's like, are you serious? Like I can't get a break.
Didn't they have like an Italian restaurant at one point or a pizzeria?
A pizzeria.
That was a whole thing too.
And they like burned down.
Yes.
Right. Where she was having like kind of an affair with like the guy, but not really. But it was like
this is probably the chunk I missed. Because I don't remember.
She like hired the guy and they like got locked in the freezer. And like she was like, you can't work here anymore. Like you're ruining my marriage. Like it was a whole thing.
That was a rough season for Tom and Lynette. Season 3.
Yeah.
Season 3.
Yeah.
I remember Bree marrying the guy from Twin Peaks and Sex and the City.
Yes. Kyle
Orson?
MacLachlan.
Orson.
Was that a time jump also? Like a small time jump?
No.
He was at the end of season 2.
Yeah, he was at the end of season 2. He hits Mike DeFino. He's the one that hits her.
I think he's at the end of season 3 because the end of season, or wait, because there was a pharmacist. Wasn't that going into season 2?
Yes, but at the end of season 2, going into season 3 is when Mike was in the coma.
Yes, and then Orson brings Bree flowers, which you're like, oh, okay. But he turned out to be a good guy.
Well, I think that was part of he was supposed to be like a villain, but then everyone kind of enjoyed him that they had to rewrite it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I believe that's what I read somewhere, that he was supposed to be, because if you remember when he hits Mike, he's a little bit more villainous.
That's very true. And that's very true because he was with Bree for like a bunch of seasons thereafter. Like, and it was like, I think we're going to focus on that. And then he went off the rails.
The time jump is when like he went to prison, I think, during the time jump.
He was a kleptomaniac. He was like stealing things from people's houses. It was ridiculous.
It was because he wanted attention from Bree, wasn't it? Man, this is making me want to rewatch the entire series. So
this is why Bree ended up.
Also, we are totally.
We're not even talking about the
pilot, but we're just talking about the series at this point.
Welcome to Queers and Soaps.
It's just like there's just too much. It's just we can't. We have to like too much. But yeah.
I like when they're in the hospital after Bree's husband almost dies from the onions. He's like, "You tried to kill me." She's like, "And I feel badly about that."
Yes. She did. She felt bad.
In her defense, Mrs. Huber, or whatever her name is, yes, is always getting everybody's business. Like when Susan, I just had some awful macaroni at the wake. I'm like,
She's a busybody.
She reminds
She's
me
like Gladys Kravitz in the window.
I was
like,
gonna say she's the bewitched character, like the neighbor.
Yes,
from Bewitched.
Gladys Kravitz, like looking in, like
I was
what's
actually
going on in the lane
when they killed her off, because I thought she was, brought this element of quirkiness to the series.
Yeah, but then her sister came on.
She's only on season 1. She's halfway through season 1, and then Felicia comes on. And Felicia's just weird.
That goes off. She doesn't. No one. I think she like leaves Wisteria Lane at some point.
No. Oh, Mrs. Hoover?
Yeah, who kills
Hoover? Oh, Hoover, yeah.
Paul.
Yeah, chokes her.
Oh.
Because he found out she was the one that wrote the letter.
Writing letters, yeah.
Oh, and he comes back in like season 7. He like gets out of prison.
Yeah, and he moves back into someone's house. Whose house is it? Susan's?
Is it?
Is it Susan's? It's one of the ladies, and that's why everyone's like shocked that he comes back.
It would have
to, like,
to be
move
Susan
in.
because Susan had to move out of her house at one point, so it would have to be Susan's house.
Yeah.
Is that
and
when
she
Susan
was
was like
over.
selling pictures of herself in like?
She was
the billboard.
She wasn't selling pictures. She was making videos of herself cleaning.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
She was a maid.
Yeah.
She was a maid. She was cleaning in her lingerie.
It was like, ooh.
That was a moment.
This is making me want to rewatch the show because I'm like, I don't really remember anything. Was that good? And now I'm like, oh yeah.
There was a lot going on. Yeah.
I will say season 1 was so good that season 2 was kind of a letdown for me.
Flop. It was a flop.
Their big mystery was just not all it was cut out to be.
Was the mystery the guy in the basement with Alfie Woodward?
Mrs. Apple? Applewhite? Apple?
Well,
Apple something.
Apple. It was Applewhite, or
I think so.
It was very controversial season 2 because of
that was like their first major, like they switched actors of the guy in the basement because the other one had done something inappropriate.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
What? Oh, I never heard that.
Yeah, something happened. I don't know if he was being inappropriate on set or.
I think he was. I don't know. I don't want to say something that's wrong, but there was some kind of issue with him, and he got recasted.
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder if that maybe had something like to do.
They had
with
to change direction.
Yeah.
I just thought that the plot line for season 2, with the new family moving in, was like a little. It was just like it was weird. Like, and I feel like they were trying because, I mean, when you talk about it, it was an all white kind of show. So they're bringing in someone and it was like, it didn't mesh well. And like, he's chained up and like, it was weird. And like,
didn't they move in the middle of the night?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
And then they wouldn't let Edie show them around and all that. But
yeah, it was weird. But Bree's storyline in season 2 was really good because she was an alcoholic, which I'm not saying that that's like but it was an interesting storyline because she had that going on. You know, she had problems with Andrew, so that was a huge storyline.
He slept with her sponsor,
one of her sponsors,
and someone she liked.
It was ridiculous.
He was a sexaholic.
I don't remember that.
He was a sexaholic.
Oh my god, it was awful.
She like takes Andrew in the middle of nowhere. It's like bye,
and leaves her.
Yeah,
I can't handle this no more. And it was actually sad because he was like, "Mom," I was like, "Oh."
Yeah,
like,
but then she committed herself. She committed herself, and she's like, "I'm having literally a nervous breakdown." And then that's when the storyline and then she ended up escaping and but it was a rough season for her. She like locked herself in the department store. Do you remember that? And she's in that like gorgeous green dress. And like she's running to the gate. And she's like running to the gate and it's locked up and like because she was like boozed out. I was like, Bree, what is happening with you? But it was a really good storyline. Yeah.
Yeah, her alcohol, that storyline was really good. It lived up to like Sue Ellen. Like it was on that level of good, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I remember saying to Greg, I was like, the show was really good for a lot of seasons. I was like, and then it went off the rails a little bit. I was like, I think at one point there was a plane that crashed in the neighborhood.
Yes.
That was the Christmas episode. Yeah.
They had a twister too. Remember
Isn't that the one
that was a good episode?
Husband? Was that the episode that killed Susan's ex-husband?
The plane one, I think.
The plane crash.
Because Bree was having an affair with him.
Yes.
Yes.
The twister killed Gabby's second husband, who was like
the mayor,
and was only
he got stabbed with like the fence.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't like him. I didn't like him on Sex and the City either.
Well, yeah, he was only dating her because he wanted the Hispanic vote. That was his whole reason for dating her. I was like, when he died, I was like, well.
Oh yeah.
I like when they were going to the wake in the pilot. How Carlos was like, work how much I spent on your necklace into the conversation. And she's like, I can't just like work that into the conversation. And he's like, you had no problem telling them that you slept with half the Yankee outfield. She's like, it came up in context.
Yeah, Carlos
like that would probably be easier to come up than, oh, my necklace, da-da-da.
Yeah.
Also, she was a model. She's like the shortest one.
She's yeah. And like Carlos was not very nice to Gabby in the first season. Carlos was very like, after he was blind and then became unblind, I was like, okay, he became like this father figure, like very like whatever. Mm-hmm. But like the whole blind thing, I think that happened in a tornado too. He got hit by like a brick in his eye. And they were like, he's blind now and he can't see. And then, that's when she like gained no weight. Oh. And that was like
Wait, wasn't she having an affair with Carlos when she was married to the mayor?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
So. But back to the pilot real quick. She is cheating on her husband.
Uh-huh.
Oh, yes. This is such a big thing.
The big thing is he's, I think 17. He is 17 at the time, right? It was the gardener, guy from Passions. But did anyone know? Like, she just lets the blinds just stay wide open.
I know.
Yeah,
Martha Huber, where are you?
I know. I was like, Gabby. One, you're breaking one law. Now you're letting everyone be able to see that you're, just.
Wasn't there an episode where like a little girl goes to get her ball and sees them in the wind, but she doesn't speak? And Gabby like buys her a bike and like tries to bribe her not to say anything.
Oh, I think that's right.
She just stares at her. She doesn't speak any word.
Yeah.
I remember that. When that whole affair went on, no one said anything about the fact that like in the media or anything that he was.
Well, I mean, it's
because it's a double standard. Because it's a guy, it's sexy. But if it was a girl, it'd be rape. Statutory rape.
Yeah, for sure. No, I agree with that. I also was going to say because it's kind of a soap opera that like that's kind of just scandalous. So I don't think it was really big in the media of like, it was just kind of like, it's a dark kind of comedy soap. So I don't think it was really like that big of a deal. But like, obviously in the show, it became a big deal when the ladies found out because it was I wonder
if maybe it's because they never really showed him in high school either.
No, he was always shirtless.
You weren't reminded that he was supposed to be this high school
17.
Kid.
No, you were supposed to just think he was the gardener.
Yeah. Whereas like on Pretty Little Liars or Dawson's Creek or something like that, like they're teachers. So that's why
they're teachers, yeah.
So maybe that's why they, I guess, did it, make it an issue.
Yeah.
Still wrong, but love the actor.
Do you think he's cute? Yeah, you think he's cute?
Depends on the day.
Yeah, me too.
Like, I didn't think he was cute in Desperate Housewives. I
didn't either.
But when he was Christopher on Dallas, I was like, okay.
Oh, yeah, he did do Dallas after, yeah.
Maybe it was the facial hair on Dallas that.
Facial hair does do that.
I thought he's good looking. He just doesn't really do it for me.
Carlos.
So I have a question. Josh Henderson.
Carlos is cute.
So they mentioned Edie's son because Martha Hoover was babysitting him. Do we ever see her son?
No.
I know Josh Henderson comes on, but isn't he her nephew?
He's her nephew. Yes.
But we never see her son.
Never saw her son. As far as I know, I don't remember seeing her son.
That's weird. You would think they would just cast Josh Henderson as her son.
I mean, that's what I thought they were going to do. I was like, oh, we're going to find out Edie had a son or had a baby when she was like a teenager, and that's going to be him.
And he gets Bree's daughter pregnant, right?
No. Who gets
Well, this is going back to season 2 because Bree's daughter is with the new neighbor. So that was like controversial for Bree because Bree was like, oh my God, like you can't be dating him, da da da. But then when she had the kid though, that was like what season was that, Aaron?
4. She was pregnant in 4, I think. And they had the baby in 5.
And Bree had to literally hide it. Like she pretended she was pregnant, which
That's
was
right.
crazy.
And she was raising it as her own.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, that was crazy.
She even had she even had the little Kristen DeMera fake belly. I call it the Kristen DeMera fake belly because that's where I remember it from.
See, I like how like these little things I'm mentioning actually became bigger things. It just like snowballed into something else.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's so true.
I remember when they did the time jump. I felt like every show, One Tree Hill had just did a time jump too. And it felt like at that time, everyone was doing time jumps.
Of course. Yeah, that's what happens. A lot of shows do.
It helped create a lot of mystery and drama.
Yeah.
It did. It really did. And especially after Catherine Mayfair came on, it was like after that huge... Oh my God, she was my follow-up to Brie. It was Brie and then Catherine. They were so similar. She was great. Oh my God, that season was so good. That season really was good.
Her mystery was like, I felt put it back up there to that season 1 mystery.
Yes.
When you find out
like you felt it.
She had a daughter, and her daughter was climbing up a shelf and fell and died. So they moved away and she adopted or got some child overseas and started passing her off as her daughter.
Right. So it unravels through the season of like, this girl's like 16 now and she's like, I don't remember anything because Susan's daughter's like, oh my God. Yeah. And like, it was like this whole mystery of like, what's going on with Catherine? Like, she's so shady all the time. And like,
and she was supposed to have lived in the neighborhood.
Yes.
Years before, right? And she moved back.
I think it was prior to Mary Alice.
Okay.
Yeah. And then it ended really well. All the ladies kind of came defending. Oh yeah, because then her ex-husband was like the sheriff, Gary, what was his name? Cole.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like the father, but then he was like, that's not my daughter. Like, what is going on? And then at the end, all the ladies kind of defend Catherine and they make up this whole story. And it was like a really good moment. But after that, it was really like, where do you go in the series? Because and that's when they did the time jump. They're like, all right, we're just going to jump and just start. And I think it was really good that they did that because it gave so much story after that for a good amount of time. And then it got a little off the rails. But the jump was great. I love the jump.
I didn't like what they did with Gabriella's character, though, when they like, even when
it was hilarious.
Just messing up her hair and cutting it, you're like, she's still gorgeous. Like, that's supposed to.
And they made her like bigger.
Yeah.
Like, she was like, I'm like, okay.
Did she really gain weight or did they make her wear a fat suit?
No, she didn't. No.
I think it was the suit. There was no way.
I didn't like the whole little baby switch storyline they had for her where Gabriella's baby got switched with someone else's.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was a weird one. That was odd. But
I have to say, one pet peeve I have with the show is they did not use Vanessa Williams to.
They did
100%.
I was expecting Wilhelmina Slater on Wisteria Lane.
That's what I was expecting too. I was expecting full on like diva. Like,
exactly,
causing drama, and then she was kind of tame, and I was like, "What's up with this?"
They didn't know what to do with her. That's the thing. Like, and that's the thing. Like, they knew Marsha Cross's character, they knew Susan. Everyone was kind of established, and it was like she was like filling in for Edie, but it was like it wasn't
working.
it wasn't meshing. And like, even the side storylines with her were like, she's just like looking at men or like doing that or being like, I don't know. And then they brought her on because she knew Lynette, like went to college together. But like, there was never like a stable storyline with her.
No.
Like, and it was just, I was always so like mad about it. I'm like, how do you go from like Ugly Betty, where like that was another show where I was like phenomenal, like so good, nothing like it. And then you think, oh, coming on Desperate Housewives, like, oh, you're gonna have the role of like your lifetime, whatever. And it was like she was just there.
Yeah,
and it's
I
like
wanted her to be Wilhelmina Slater on Wisteria.
Yes,
I feel like ABC didn't want to lose her.
She probably had some kind of production deal with them.
They're like, no,
she wasn't the star. That's the thing. She's not the star of the show. So when you have all these 4 ladies, it's like you don't want to like change that. Mm-hmm. So it's like she becomes kind of like a side character. But it was like,
and she came on season 7. Was it 7 when she came on?
Yeah, she was on the last 2 seasons.
It's hard.
The last
to me,
few.
It's hard for a character to come in and try to,
I know, but when it's somebody so well known as Vanessa Williams,
absolutely.
Like, how do you mess that up?
Well, they did.
Mark Cherry doesn't know. He did it. I blame him.
Like, if you were gonna burn her on, you should have had a plan.
Yeah, absolutely. And give her a storyline. Like, give her a backstory, not just like, oh, I was roommates with Lynette. We were like party girls back in the day. Like. There's more. You could have done a lot more. You've had seasons and seasons with the same ladies. Like, you could give her something very stable and it would have worked really well.
Yeah.
Sad. Missed opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
But do you guys have anything else to add about the pilot?
To me, the 2000,
I keep trying to bring it back to the pilot.
The 2004.
I know.
The 2004-2005 TV season, ABC definitely won that year because they had massive hits, and Desperate Housewives they started out strong with Desperate Housewives, in my opinion.
Didn't Lost start that same season?
Yes. So they had Desperate Housewives and Lost. Desperate Housewives, this is how important it was to me. I had a teacher who she taped it for me and brought the tape to school so I could watch it.
I have a story about Desperate Housewives too. I used to get the calendar every year. Whenever they had it, I got it every year. And I gave a Desperate Housewives calendar to one of my teachers as a gift because she watched Desperate Housewives. She had it up in her classroom. And I remember it was Gabby's picture and her boobs were out. Like, she was looking cute, whatever. She had to put a Post-it on it because guys were looking at it in the classroom. Really? And I was like, why is there a Post-it like on her like chest? And she's like, because guys are getting distracted. I'm like, oh my god.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
Obsessed. I love Desperate Housewives.
Oh, I did. Yeah. This is reminding me of my love for it. I remember like it was a big part of my life.
Same. Wow. We talked a lot about the series and not the pilot.
Not much about the pilot.
A little bit.
I guess last comments about the pilot. Mary Alice, Brenda Strong, love her. Amazing voiceover. I don't think anyone, Twin Peaks, Cheryl, she played Peyton's mom. And then she was the one that died on Twin Peaks.
Cheryl Lee?
Oh.
Yes. She was supposed to be the Mary Alice.
Really?
No way. Mm-hmm. Wow.
I didn't know that. I think they had a different gardener in the original pilot, too.
Yeah. But it was the guy on Dawson's Creek that played the fake Dawson at the very end.
It was James Vanderbeek?
No. when Dawson's making his movie and he has
that.
It was him. Because he's still in the pilot episode of Desperate Housewives. He's at the wake.
Is he?
Wow.
If you don't know you're supposed to look for it, you'll miss it.
Fun fact.
Fun thing I like to do, I like to watch the pilot on DVD because they have an extended cut, and I like to.
Oh yeah, they do.
I forgot about their DVD box set was so good. Like when you pulled it up,
they were.
I think I just completed my collection like a year ago. I would ask for it for Christmas every year.
I need seasons
so good
8 and 7. I believe
I had them and then I sold them.
That's blasphemy.
I know. I mean, it's all on Hulu now, so like that's fine. But I know.
Till it's not.
I had like the first spot. I know. I know. I know. I have to buy them. They're so good.
There's certain shows I'm like, I need to have the DVD just in case it stops streaming anywhere ever.
Absolutely.
One Tree Hill's that. One Tree Hill's that show for me. I would.
had those too.
You do not sell One Tree Hill.
I was a broke bitch. I had to sell back a lot of DVDs and I got zero money for them. I got like $2 back. I'm like, these are like $40 a piece.
Like I used to try to sell stuff back too. They'd be like, "Oh, we'll give you 50 cents." I was like, "It's just better off if I keep it."
Yeah. I know.
I have the original like thick box sets of my Buffy DVDs before they went like to the
Yes, I do too.
And I paid like at least $50 for those.
Oh yeah, each one.
Mm-hmm. And now they're like $15.
Mm-hmm.
I know.
So I can only imagine if you tried to sell them, they're probably worth $2. Like sell them to a used place.
I remember I used to have to, if I never saw the show, I was very much like, do I really want to pay $50 for it? Because that's how I was with the OC season 1. I had never seen it, but I wanted to see it. So I spent the $50 and got that big old chunky season 1 DVD.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, I watched that show from the pilot. They were promoting it as the new 90210. I was like, sold.
Oh yeah.
See, that was
Dawson's Creek had just ended. I needed a new teen show.
See, that was on One Tree Hill.
But thanks for coming on, Corey.
Yeah.
Of course. It was such a pleasure.
This was fun. So we're gonna have to talk about Ugly Betty soon.
Ooh,
oh my god,
Ooh, yes.
Yeah.
But thanks for coming on, Corey. This was fun.
Of course. Yeah, it was so much fun.
I hope to talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.